understand there's no coming back from this. I mean, you're gonna get new socials, new identities. You can't contact your friends or relatives ever again.
Best quality vacuum.
It's a vacuum cleaner repair company.
What'd you expect? Haji's Quick Vanish? I don't even know the guy's name.
Hey guys, Kiwi here, warning of spoilers for Breaking Bad, El Camino, and Better Call Saul up to Season 6, Episode 6. In this video, I'll be breaking down discussing how Jimmy gets Ed the Disappears card, along with how it impacts the story. Like the video if you end up enjoying it, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Twitter for more Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad updates. If you really enjoy what I do here, maybe even consider checking out my Patreon, or give back to the channel by clicking the super thanks button under the video. With that being said, let's jump into the breakdown.
You're wanted by some pretty scary individuals, not to mention the law. You're a high-risk client. You're gonna need the deluxe service. It's gonna cost you. Just call that number and you leave a message. You tell them that you need a new dust filter for a Hoover Max Extract Pressure Pro Model 60. I wrote it right on there. He'll call you back in 5 minutes.
So in episode 606, we got the reveal of how Jimmy got Ed the Disappear's contact. Ed the Disappear provides essentially a criminal version of witness protection. Ed sets you up with a new identity and a new life somewhere else in the world for criminals who want to get out of the game, but can't without getting killed.
How much?
The last quote I got on the deluxe was 125 grand, but you got 4 people to vanish. It's gonna be at least $500,000, and he accepts cash only.
I've got the money. Now, come on, please.
Here.
We saw Ed do this for Walt in Breaking Bad along with Saul. Ed's the reason why Saul was able to change his identity to Gene.
I need a new dust filter for my Hoover Max Extract Pressure Pro Model 60. Can you help me with that?
And we saw Saul call Ed in the Better Call Saul episode 405 flash forward, along with seeing him actually in Ed's vacuum store in Breaking Bad, alongside Walter White while in the process of being relocated. We also saw Ed in the season 5 Gene scene, when Gene was trying to call Ed because he wanted to get relocated again before deciding that he would take care of the situation himself.
We've delivered to you before, haven't we?
Yeah, I'm in.
Omaha, Nebraska.
Mr. Takovic.
I'm trying to imagine this from a perspective of people that have only seen Better Call Saul, and considering that we saw the flash forward to Breaking Bad in 405, which was in season 4 obviously, the season 5 Gene scene kinda confirmed and revealed who was on the other side of the phone. So Better Call Saul itself first showed Saul calling Ed in season 4, and then in season 5 we get to actually see who he is, and now in season 6 we see how Jimmy got his contact card in the first place. Jesse was going to use Ed in Breaking Bad but didn't, and eventually does in El Camino, relocating to Alaska. Depending on how quote-unquote hot your situation is, determines how much it'll cost to relocate, along with if you're allowed to choose where your new relocation will be or not.
How hot? Red hot. I know where that is. I'll be there.
How hot are you?
I got made.
It's been a huge mystery in the Better Call Saul Breaking Bad universe for years on how Jimmy acquired Ed's contact. The most popular theory was Caldera, which actually turned out to be true as revealed in Better Call Saul 606. So it's been a theory for a while that Caldera will give Jimmy Ed's contact card, but the main problem with that is that Mike never knew about Ed the Disappear in Breaking Bad. Mike's whole problem near the end of Breaking Bad is that he had no way out, so if he knew about Ed, he definitely would have used him to secure safety for himself, along with probably Stacy and Kaylee as well.
I got a go bag at the airport. Passports, money, their eyes everywhere. I can't get close.
Mike never knowing about Ed has been confirmed by the show creators multiple times for years, and in the recent 606 Insider podcast, they admit that they were trying to find a workaround explanation as to how Jimmy acquires Ed's contact without Mike ever knowing. This is due to the fact that Caldera is retiring, which actually makes sense because the last time we saw Caldera in Better Call Saul season 4, he said that the cartel stuff was too hot for him and that he never wanted to see them again.
After I walk out of here, I never want to see you again. Never. This cartel shit is too hot for me.
So Caldera is selling his contacts that Jimmy and Kim saw in that book. Mike never gets Ed's number due to Caldera now being out of the game and not having his contact book anymore. We know that Jimmy ends up acquiring the book somehow due to it being in his Breaking Bad Saul Goodman house that we saw in the episode 601 intro. So does Jimmy end up buying it off Caldera before he disappears? Will we see this on screen or does this happen off screen? I assume that he uses some of his Lalo Salamanca money in order to do so. But also, since I'm making this video right before episode 607, if we get more answers in this regard, I'll leave it in a pinned comment on this video, but otherwise we may have to wait until the second half of season 6 to get more answers if we do. Also, the fact that Saul had Ed's number in Breaking Bad Season 5 but never offered it to Mike kinda makes me want to say F you, Jimmy. Now, initially it makes sense that Saul wouldn't tell Mike about Ed, due to maybe Mike telling Gus, which would defeat the whole purpose. That being said, Gus was long dead by the time the cops were after Mike in Breaking Bad Season 5, so why didn't Saul ever give Mike Ed's number? Was Saul just that scared of Mike? Now, we've seen both Walt and Jesse threaten Saul even more so than Mike ever did, so what's the deal? Both Jesse and Walt have held Saul at gunpoint multiple times in Breaking Bad, with their first time ever meeting him was kidnapping Saul and dragging him out into the desert at gunpoint. All Mike ever did in Breaking Bad was once threaten to break Saul's legs, which is still bad but not as bad, so if you're gonna give Walt and Jesse Ed's contact, why not Mike? Especially in Season 5 when Gus isn't even an issue anymore, it was just Mike. Leave your thoughts and theories on why Saul never told Ed about Mike in the comments below.
I trust the hole in the desert I'd leave you in.
Yeah, that's an argument.
Don't make me beat you till your legs don't work.
Anyways, another Caldera theory is that Jimmy would somehow take over his business, and we always wondered how, but here's the answer. Caldera is retiring due to hating the criminal side of his job, and instead just wants to relocate as a vet somewhere else as that's his true passion. It makes sense that Caldera would retire, as when we saw him in Season 4 while saving Nacho's life, he said that he's done with all this cartel stuff and it's too hot and dangerous for his liking. So we can assume that Caldera is actually the first person in the Better Call Saul Breaking Bad universe that we know of to use Ed the Disappear, answering yet another huge question and mystery from within the universe of who's the first person that ever used him. So will we see someone else use Ed during the Better Call Saul timeline? Could it be Kim or someone else? There's also kind of a meme theory that Kim already knew Ed and that maybe she has disappeared before, considering she doesn't have a middle name, or even the fact that Ed may be Kim's dad. I don't really want to give this much attention. I doubt this is true, considering Kim acts like she doesn't know who Ed was while looking at his vacuum repair card with Jimmy. The whole Ed is Kim's dad theory is just because we've never seen Kim's dad in the flashbacks or really heard much about him. The only thing we knew about Kim's dad is that he was a huge movie buff, being the person to show Kim the Ice Station Zebra movie when they were younger.
Ice Station Zebra is on the North Pole. My dad loves this one.
This theory was also debunked due to Ed telling Walt in Breaking Bad that he's not really into movies due to the slim selection that Ed left at Walt's isolated cabin.
You'll be limited to DVDs.
Gorium's Wonder Emporium. 2 copies.
I'm not much of a movie guy.
But back to Jimmy getting Ed's contact card. Is just seeing how he gets the card enough in regards to that storyline, or should we see Jimmy use it or give it to someone else to use during the Better Call Saul timeline? We already saw Saul use it for Better Call Saul 405 during the flash forward, so that may be why they showed the origins of Jimmy getting it from Caldera. It could just be to explain and elaborate the origins of Gene, cleaning up any questions or loose ends from the 405 flash forward. I can see why they put the origins of Jimmy getting Ed's card into the Better Call Saul timeline, considering it's very important to connecting the dots with the Gene story, along with answering who, what, and where Saul got the card from back in the 405 flash forward. We already knew it was Ed from Breaking Bad, but I don't mind them answering this question in Better Call Saul so that Better Call Saul itself has the standalone information as well.
Best quality vacuum. How may I help you?
Yeah, I need an adapter for a Hoover Max Extract Pressure Pro Model 60.
That will be a very difficult part to obtain.
Also, apologies for not getting this video out sooner like I had planned along with my 606 review. I'm still going to be doing that, as well as a few other 606 breakdowns, and then obviously episode 607 over the next month or so. Got a lot planned for that too. I've just had some in real life stuff going on, so I've been a little bit more busy than usual, but I still have a bunch of breakdowns and theories and all that planned for during the mid-season break. I'm going to get back to doing my tier lists and all of that, so in a way I don't really mind the mid-season break for season 6. It's not going to be too terribly long, only a month and a half, but it gives me a little bit of breathing time to finish up some other videos and other projects that I've planned for a while, so get ready for a bunch of content during the mid-season break to prepare us for the final half of season 6. I'd appreciate a like on the video if you've enjoyed anything I've said today. If you're new to the channel or just haven't yet already, subscribe and hit that bell notification to stay updated on when I post new content on Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. Check out my Patreon or give a super thanks to help support the channel financially. If you got a few spare bucks lying around, it'd mean a lot, and thanks to those who have already. But most importantly, I thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.
Nebraska, what's in Nebraska?
You, from now on. We've delivered to you before, haven't we?
Yeah, I'm in Omaha, Nebraska. Yeah, I think we found the Zodiac killer.